Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, our X Games team preview. We just looked at TK. Now over to Team EnVyUs. This is a squad I am extremely excited about watching come X Games.
Yeah, I mean, they looked pretty good at UMG Cali. Expect a little bit better things, but X Games definitely expect this team to turn on. Team, Saints, Proof, Looney. I mean, everyone knows these names, 4 household names in Call of Duty. Going to be looking to see how they play at X Games.
Yeah, this team full of potential, really is, and I'm excited to see TP really on a good team. Struggled at the start of the year, that's for sure. Same with Proof. I had a very shaky start to AW, but now really on a very top-notch team. And speaking of TP, let's take a look at some of his accolades. Of course, X Games bronze medalist from last year, 2014 Call of Duty World Champion as well. Season 2 stats, overall KD is 0.92, S&D is 0.87, CTF 0.85, but as you can see, there's a lot of the objective and uplink, especially 3.33 or 3.4 rather uplinks.
Yeah, he's gone back to the OBJ role that he used to run.
What does flex mean?
It kind of like does a little bit of everything.
A little bit of everything. He flexes around. Okay.
Like you can switch between an OBJ, you can switch to Slayer.
I mean, we've definitely seen him do better in this game, that's for sure.
I expect Team to kind of go back to more of that OBJ role. We've seen him do, you know, countless
Especially on this team. Especially on this team. When you look at some of the plays he's teaming with, he doesn't really need to get any kills.
Any pressure on him to win. He's the only person from Cole EG not to have won on AW.
No, I never even thought about that. That never even crossed my mind. Huh. I don't think Teep's the kind of player who's going to feel pressure like that.
Yeah.
I think he's just, you know, he's playing.
I think it's more of like he wants to prove to everybody that
he still has it.
Right.
He definitely has it. Like we've seen with some of his games on AW, the guy's extremely talented, plays very well. But yeah, that's a good point. I never even thought about that. Any player from that kind of dynasty that still hasn't won the championship.
On AW.
On AW.
Yeah. Clay has one, Karma, Krim,
Makes everyone.
Yeah.
Huh.
So,
a little bit for you there.
Looking to see if Team can get his first at X Games. That would be a huge one to get. Proof, player obviously last year. X Games gold medalist without the gaming. 0.92 overall KD, 0.87 in S&D, 24.96 Slayer rating. Uplinks per game, 3.34. That's, I don't know if that's correct. Is that correct? No, it's actually 1.63 uplinks per game. 0.31 first bloods.
His actual, so his overall stats are actually incorrect. His Season 2 overall KD is actually a 1.05, 26.41 Slayer rating, 0.91 S&D KD, 1.63 uplinks per game, 0.31 first bloods, and a 1.07 CTF. So completely ignore those stats.
Yeah.
I was looking at them, I was like, there is no way.
I was reading it, I was like, there's no way Proof has like that,
Proof
like
is
low,
negative like that.
Season. He's actually really turned it on since joining Envy.
He has.
I thought champs with FaZe Black, like they were going to do really well. He was crushing.
Yeah.
And then, you know, they didn't play as well as we thought they were. But, no, now with Envy, seems to be really comfortable. Him and Tate, like, best of buds. I mean, expect them to
vibes,
really both show up, play well at X Games.
They got good vibes.
Yeah.
That's the key for that squad. And I really expect to see Proofy play extremely well at X Games. X Games gold. Like, for a lot of these guys who won gold last year, it's can they do it again? Like, you could be the first player to have 2 gold medals. Like, that's badass. Like, there's only 3 players with the possibility of doing that because Nate is now retired.
Yeah.
And they're all on different teams.
Yeah.
Which makes it, like, so exciting. So exciting. And even the players that finish, you know, like, in second place and in like, bronze, silver medalist, if they can get a gold, like, if you can just win 2 X Games medals, that's freaking cool. Like, I think that's awesome. But moving on with the Envy roster. Up next, we're going to take a look at Saints. And Saints has been one of the most explosive players in the Pro League this season. His overall KD is a 1.1, 29.68 slaying average. That's huge. Positive in S&D as well with a 1.07. Even averaging a couple of uplinks every game, 1.41, 0.68 first bloods, and a 1.13 CTF KD. He is the key to success for this Envy roster.
There's nothing this guy can't do. I mean, I think kind of, I don't want to say the most underrated player in Call of Duty because they don't think he's underrated. But I feel like nobody talks about him.
People always seem to forget about him.
Like, he's so good, and nobody, like, talks about him. And I think, like, the level that he should be talked about. I mean, he's one of the top players in all Call of Duty.
Oh, fact.
Like, by far. I mean, it's kind of funny because people bring up, like, oh, who's your top, like, in your top 5 players list? Like, they kind of, like, forget about Saints.
Just
like,
how good he is.
If you go, like, I mean, just overall, I mean, he's just a very talented player. I think he definitely qualifies up near the top 5.
He's so consistent. So consistent. And there's not that many plays you can look at and be like, all right, you know he's never going to have a bad event.
He didn't have an event in Ghost where he went negative.
Like, that's crazy.
I think it's the same thing on AW, too. I don't think he's gone negative.
I was trying to think of the same thing.
In an AW event either.
Negative. Like, the guy is just so talented. And everyone just seems to kind of
it's not even like he baits his teammates for kills. Like, he just wins all his gunfights.
Yeah, he just wins
all his gunfights.
He's a huge reason for EnVyUs' success throughout of the season. Yeah. The last player for Team EnVy, though, is going to be Looney. And Looney used to play, obviously, under the TK organization. It's first time competing at the X Games. 1.05 overall KD and a 1.11 search and destroy KD. Average slaying rating is a 27.54, even in CTF with a 1.0. First blood 0.76 and uplinks per game 3.15. You can see just how many uplinks this squad is kind of averaging per game. A lot, just by the averages.
Yeah, they kind of split the objective between the three guys, between Looney, Saints, and Teep. Looney, I think he has like the most to gain out of playing on this team, from the simple fact that we get some of that veteran experience.
Yep.
No, obviously, he played on TK. We know that. But it's like, I think you're playing with like a different caliber of players.
Oh, absolutely.
Right? Like these
TP
are like
and Proof, like alone, they've been around forever, and then plus you're playing with someone as good as Saints. Like this is probably the best team he's been on.
I think this is by far the best team he's ever been on. I mean, do you think it's even close? Like,
not really. Like I think Looney really is being able to excel in the squad, and that's why you're seeing some of his best gameplay. We'll take a look at Team EnVyUs' Season 2 performance just in a big old review fashion. Record was 22 and 22, and 86 and 96 map record, so it was 47%, so below 50% on that one.
But they also had like a different team halfway
That is
through.
true. That's the issue with a lot of these stats, is they kind of revamped their roster with Teep, Proof, and Looney. Finished 7th in Season 2 regular season. The last 10 games, they went 2 and 8, which was surprisingly bad for a team like Team EnVyUs, but I think they kind of already knew they qualified. Best Season 2 game mode, no surprise here, is Uplink, 22 and 15. The worst game mode is actually CTF at 16 and 25. That's kind of surprising to me, because I would think you'd have Saints and Proofy just sit up with their ARs, kill everything, and you allow Looney and TP to do the objective work.
Interesting. I know they were kind of weak in hardpoint as well. Uplink and S&D is where they really have been kind of going off.
Very, very good. I think one of the big things to look at with Team EnVyUs is that 2 and 10 overall in the last 12 games. They were in second place.
Yeah.
And they dropped all the way down. I mean, still on the opposite side of OG, but they have to face FaZe.
Yeah, it's a tough match.
I mean, other EnVy fans, should they be nervous about that? Or do you think they can go toe-to-toe with FaZe?
Yeah, I think it's going to be one of the better games the whole weekend.
Yeah, I agree.
I think it's like right to start things off. I'm just looking up. I was looking up stats while we were doing
this.
Oh,
really? You looking for Saints?
Yeah, Saints, I think, still has not gone negative in an event on AW. Yeah.
That's crazy.
I mean, the lowest KD I saw from him was like a 1.04, but his last 3 events, I think I looked up, it was like a 1.20, a 1.22, and then Cali was like a 1.23.
Guy just kills everything. Like that's what you really need to know. Yeah. One of the big questions about Team EnVy for me is the best of 7 format. Does it hurt or help EnVy in your opinion? Because our worst game mode is CTF, which has only played once.
Then I think it helps. I mean, you gain the 2 S&Ds. You're pretty good at that. 2 uplinks.
You're great at that.
You're great at that. I mean, hardpoint, I think you're kind of iffy. But I mean, do I think they're able to just, they can win a game by just outslaying somebody. Like Proof gets hot, like Saints gets hot,
right?
Like the other team is screwed no matter what.
So the hardpoint record is 19 and 25. So as you said, a little bit iffy on that. S&D is 29 and 31.
Yeah.
CTF is 16 and 25. Uplink, the only one positive at 22 and 15. So decent. As long as CTF is your worst game mode as a team, I think you're going to be fine in the best of 7 format.
I mean, they struggled through the last 10 games, like we talked about. I mean, they go, what, 2 and 10? They were in second place.
Right.
They drop all the way down to 7th.
Do they even try and improve that CTF at this point? Is it worth it?
No.
I would say no, right? You would just focus on what? Maybe your hardpoint.
I would focus on getting better at hardpoint.
Yeah.
I mean, you're pretty good at S&D. The S&D stats don't really reflect it because obviously this is a different team halfway through the season. You got to remember that.
Right, that's true.
Remember when they had Saint Zuma, Merc, and Nameless, like they were losing like every game 5 S&D. Like that team was like awful in S&D.
Really bad.
So I mean, you figure they got a bunch of those losses for them.
That's true.
I think you should just focus on hardpoint. To be honest, I think that's what I would focus on going into this event. Hardpoint, and it's going to be difficult for them to do that online. I mean, Looney and Teep both West Coast. Like, how do you get real good practice in on that?
True.
I don't know.
True. I think we can both agree. Play to watch for this team.
Saints.
Has to be. Has to be. Guys, so good. If you can just play consistent as he has been all year long, and, you know, Proofy goes off one game, Looney goes off another game.
Well, the thing is, you need Proof to play well throughout, like, entire games. Like, you'll get, like, a half where Proof just crushes, and he'll like, put up, like, 25 kills in, like, a hard-playing half. Now, Proof's on pace for, like, 50 that he's going to go massive.
Slows down.
And then the game ends, and he has, like, 35 kills.
Yeah.
Like, what happened? Yeah.
Agreed.
If he plays full games really well, which we've seen Proof do before.
He can definitely do.
This team is very dangerous.
I'm excited. Very, very excited for X Games, of course, coming up in just a couple weeks' time.
Yeah.
In fact, when do we fly out? We fly out in exactly
Wednesday.
Yeah.
Next Wednesday.
Dude, I'm excited.
Yeah.
It's coming up very, very quickly. For now, quick commercial break. When we return, me and Matt doing the quick scope. Be right back.